What's up, people? It's your boy Clement here, and I'm here with my partner
Ebenezer. Welcome back to another video from EBC Financial Consulting Solutions.
And as you know, we talk money, we educate ourselves,
Yeah,
we talk about the common sense.
about money and all of that. I'm happy because this is the second video we're making today, and it's about buying cars, right?
Yeah, buying cars.
Yes.
The stuff nobody talks about.
Yeah, a lot of these, not a lot of people talk about, right?
A lot of people, they just get up, I want a new car, walks into a dealership
And do it.
and they turn on their AC on you. You know, the dealers
Talk to you nice.
They talk to you nice, make their rooms very cold. They sit
Ask you about-
there. They ask you, what do you want to pay a month?
So the thing is, right? We're probably going to talk about that, but that's not the actual topic is your bank approval and the dealership approvals, right? So when you're going to buy a car, it's two things that you're going to do. It's either you're going to go straight to the dealership and then you're going to pay for you're going to apply for a loan from the dealership.
Yeah.
Or you're going to you're going to
Go to your bank.
Go to your bank and get a pre-approval or approval and come, or you pay in cash.
Yeah.
So these are the three main ways that you buy cars.
Right.
So which is the best one, and what can be the best one at the right time, and how can you manipulate these tactics? I think the Tesla is the third time that I'm leasing it, but the third time that I'm kind of paying for a car that I've actually applied for the loan. So let's say that doesn't really count because it's not really financing. So it's usually you're going to finance with that car brand company when you're leasing. But with the finance, at least I financed two cars, and you are financed. This is the first car that you are financing. You recently bought a Model Y. That's the first time. So at least we know the times that is good for you to buy cars and things like that. Yeah. So according to you, which one do you think is the best way of getting a loan for a car? In your process, what happened for you?
It's two things, right? So I went through the dealership. And the only reason why I went through the dealership was because Tesla was running a sale, right? So their sale, they said I was gonna get 1% interest, which was nothing. So 1% interest rate. If I had chosen not to go with Tesla, I wouldn't have qualified for that. So
well, that is not a dealership. That's the direct car company.
Yeah, but
Tesla is a dealership, but
Tesla is a dealership.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
But
yeah,
they have their bank they work with.
Yes.
So in order to qualify for that 1%,
you have to go through.
You have to go through them, and then they connect with you with their bank.
True. Okay.
And then you get that 1%.
Yes.
If I had chosen not to go with them, then the 1% wouldn't be on the table. I guess the interest rate would have been whatever my bank was giving me.
Was going to give you, which was going to be higher, like more very high than the one you got from.
Before I went to Tesla, I did my pre-approval. I was getting like 6.something%.
6.7%.
So in this case, going with the dealer's bank was the best option. Yeah, because they were running a sale. If you go through the dealership and they're doing a sale like that, where they're like, oh, if you finance, you get, let's say, 2% interest rate if you pay it off in 5 years.
Yes.
You know, if they're running a sale like that, then you don't really have an option.
You almost can't beat it.
Yeah, you don't have an option than to just go with them.
Yeah.
So that's my experience.
Yes.
Right. But
before the Tesla, though, you did actually go to another dealership to buy a car that you didn't. They ran your credit, but you didn't end up buying. Tell us about that.
So these dealers, assholes. I'm just gonna say it.
Most of them.
Be mindful of this. When I got there, they were like, "Oh, I was like, what interest rate can you guys give me? Right? They work there. If you work there, you should know at least on average.
On average, if you have a
what
good
people are
credit,
getting.
yes.
I told you I have an excellent credit score. What can you give me? Ballpark. Trust me, if you work there, you should be able to say, "Oh, right now things are."
Actual numbers may change, but still, you know the rate.
Yeah, you should be able
average.
to tell me, "Oh, we can give you something around 7%." And I don't know, that day I was probably stressed, so I wasn't thinking straight. But they told me that, "Oh, you have to fill out the application before we can provide you the rate."
The rate, yeah.
And I was like, I asked them, "Is this gonna be a soft pool or a hard pool?" Lady was quick to say, "Oh, it's a soft pool. We don't do a hard pool." Blah,
anything blah, blah. To get you to fill the application.
I asked her again twice. Are you sure it's a soft pool? She said, "Yeah, it's a soft pool." I'm like, cool. And then I fill out the application for them. My credit didn't pull right there and then. Next morning when I woke up, 3 hard pulls on my credit. Because the dealerships, they normally have different banks.
So and they try as much as possible to get you a rate that they can convince you to sign.
Yeah. So 3 hard pulls on my credit. That's what they did to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the rate that they were even gonna give me was way higher than my bank. So normally, if you have like a credit union, if you save a credit union,
you're already eating into the next thing. But that's, go ahead. Yeah.
Anyways, I was just gonna say with that one, buying a used car
from the dealership was the worst decision you could have made.
My bank would have been the best.
Even better, yes.
Because the dealership wasn't running any type of deal or anything.
Or any sale
so
or
my
nothing.
bank would have been better in that case.
And to finish that, whenever you go into the dealership and you put down your information, except you are really ready to go with it, always know if you give them your details like your social security and stuff, don't be surprised they are going to pull your credit.
Yeah.
Because when you do it, even with the solar people who came around these days, they pull your hard pull. The same people told me it was going to be soft pull. Never trust them. If you are not ready, don't just ask them. Some people will be nice enough to let you know what's up. If you ask them and whatever they tell you, still don't take their word for it, because the actual numbers are going to be on the paper. And from what I've been watching on YouTube and my little research and all of that, the dealerships, they always or they add a little bit of interest rate to what you already are going to be approved for. So you would have probably been approved for 6%. They may ask 0.5 for their profit.
Yeah.
So always, apart from the interest you're going to be paying for them, because they want to make the bank money and money for themselves, right? So now, when you go in there, make sure they don't dupe you. Don't let them talk to you about your family or whatever. By the time you realize you don't, because once you get there, they want to get you to sign.
Salespeople.
Yeah, salespeople. So whatever they do, some people are nice. I've had nice people that are still get in contact with them, but take it as they are salespeople first.
Yeah.
So they are gonna talk to you whatever it takes, because usually when you leave the dealership, you may never come back again.
Yeah.
So anything, even if they have to let you sit on them, sometimes they may do it. So before we come back to that, the next one that we're gonna talk about is getting a pre-approval or pre-qualification from your bank before you go to the dealership, right? Mm-hmm. I would say recently, a few months ago, so I don't know if it's recently, I helped my friend get a car, like that, So, we were looking through the process and things like that. The first thing that I let him do is we went for a pre-approval from his bank. Mm-hmm. So, for example, let's say if his bank was Apple Federal Credit Union, we went to Apple and we got pre-approval from them. Apple gave him, I think, about 6-7%, something like that. And then we took it to the dealership. When we went there, we took it to like multiple dealerships, but a specific car we were looking for wasn't very available to a lot of dealerships. So we went to where they had it. When we got there, we talked to them, we looked at the car, we drove multiple cars, but he was like, nah, this is what I want. So we said, okay, cool. We drove for a little bit, came back, and then we were talking to them, and I told the guy we already have a pre-approval. Usually they don't like that. Obviously, they want to make money for their banks, right? It's business, so that's what they would like to do. So sometimes even if you have a pre-approval, they can lie to you. We can get you a better rate, and in this case, he tried to do that. I even told my friend we should actually try and get another pre-approval from another bank before we went to the dealership, because usually when you are buying a car, there's a window that when you run your hard inquiry,
like a week to 2 weeks.
A week or 2 weeks, something like that, it's gonna be the same pool. Yeah, it's gonna appear as different credit pools, but it's gonna be the same pool.
Yeah, it's not gonna affect your credit.
It's gonna affect your credit one time instead of except if you do this month, the next month, whatever. So try and get at least 3 applications, right? And know the best rates you can get. No matter how good your credit is, some people are gonna try and lowball you, right? So we did it. I told him, but he was like, "It's cool, blah blah blah." But actually, that wasn't a bad credit because these times interest rates are not great. So we did that. We went to the dealership. So it's like, "What's the best rate you guys can give us?" They were like, "Blah blah blah." I was like, "No, we have an approval already." Because usually, if they see you have an approval, they already know you are serious in the first place, right? That you are already done your credit check, you are ready to buy a car and things like that. So they'll actually pay more attention to you too and a lot, whatever. But also, they will still try and beat your thing. Even if sometimes they know for a fact they cannot beat that.
Yeah, they're trying to cut corners. That's when they ask you the questions of, what do you want to pay monthly?
What do you want to pay and all of that? Yeah. And so, in this case, he was like, I will see what I can do. And I wasn't I wasn't tripping because we already had an approval and we were gonna go with it, or anyways, if the other one was not better than ours, right? Or if it was the same, there was no point. So he took it to his finance person and all of that, and then
the finance manager.
Yes, yeah. that's another one. Yeah,
I'm gonna go see my finance manager.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
So he went there, and actually I think we both went to the finance office as a last resort or something like that. But fast forward, it came down that they were not able to beat our score. Not even close. It wasn't even close, because
very likely they won't.
Yeah, because if you have a great credit, usually they may not be able to beat it, because usually they bump it up a little bit. And so I think if it was 7, they were in the 9s or 10s or more, which was ridiculous. So they couldn't beat our approval. So if they were not doing any special rates like Clemens, that they were going to give you 2% for 60 months or whatever for this, and either way was going to be the same terms and the money that you were going to pay, there is no way you should go with a dealership. And one bad thing about the dealership also is the fact that when you do run your credit, you already talked about it, right? It's going to go with multiple banks, and it's going to be hard inquiries, which suck. Yeah. I think that's one thing that we are researching on, if we can remove it for you on your credit report, because technically you didn't apply for that. You only applied for one. So for my friends, I think they did like 3 pools. And
they did 3 pools with mine too.
Yeah, they did 3 pools. Sometimes it's 4. Sometimes it's even 5. Okay, so but then I think I was thinking about maybe we can dispute the other 2, and because it's actually 1 that we did, which is the actual dealership. Yeah. So my Camaro, they did the same thing.
I don't know why they can't just pull one and just distribute it.
No, the thing is, because they are trying to look at it this way, like if this person gives you 7, and this person can give you 6.8 or whatever,
they should have a system.
Oh,
the dealers
at least they can pull one and give it to them,
and
for
then
them
supplies it to the different.
It's
the same credit information.
I thought that's kind of how
they don't have to send the application to all the different banks.
Yes,
for all of them to pull separately.
That's actually,
if you guys work with them, they should be able to trust the credit information you guys give them.
Exactly.
So you should be
other
able
than
to say,
pulling it individually.
This is the person's credit. Supply it to the different banks and tell them what can
They
should have a system like that.
Maybe there's a back-end system, or they haven't invented it, and they just love to pull. I guess maybe when they pull it, especially when they pull, maybe they get points or whatever. At least you brought us customers. At this point, they've got your information and things like that, right? Yeah. So it's a selling data or something like that. It could be one of the reasons why that happens. So But yeah, sometimes the dealership is the best way. Like in his situation,
They're running a big deal.
and sometimes too, when they put in multiple banks, you may be able to get like good. I think when I did my I forgot what bank it was. I think the one that was like in Maryland, State Fifth Bank or whatever. And then the first 90 days, I didn't have to pay anything. It was part of the promotion that they gave me at this point. I was still pissed because I had a great credit, and it wasn't like worst credit. I think it was like 4% or I forgot, but it still could have been better. Right. But what I should have known better at the time, even though I knew a lot of things, I still didn't. That's why we always keep learning, right? I should have gone to my bank straight away. So actually, what fooled me was I asked them, "Do you work with Apple Bank?" Right? Do you work with Apple Bank? So they will tell you, yes, we work with all your banks and things like that. And they, in the process, they can send it straight to Apple.
Yeah.
That's what they tell you. And when they do that, sometimes, probably if you went to Apple, they may have given you 6. But if you get Apple through them, they may have given you 6.5.
Yeah, because at that point, you're not.
Yeah. So, because recently, one of my credit clients, they went to get a car and things like that. And it wasn't the best, so I was like, go to your bank. But they couldn't get it through your bank because the dealership had already run it through their bank, and they weren't approved. But maybe if they did it directly with their bank, they may have been approved. But because they already pulled it from the dealership, it didn't work for them. So I would say that it depends on the situation, the timing, and all of that for you to know where you should get the loan. But at least no matter what, except like the crazy interest rate, like he got like literally 1% and things like that, or special whatever that you're gonna get with it that is worth it, pull from different banks.
Yeah, go through your banks, see what they can give you.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt to just, and sometimes, at least from my experience, the banks for the pre-approval, they don't even do a hard pull.
Yes. Apple FCU being one, they do pre-qualification. So
they don't do. They showed you this is the interest rate you can qualify for based on the soft pull in your credit. So it doesn't even.
Not all banks do it. Navy Federal, they don't do pre-qualification.
Oh, okay.
They will give you pre-approval. Pre-approval is like you have been approved for this amount, and you can get any car within this amount. And if you are ready, you can just give it to the dealership, and then you buy the car. Pre-qualification is almost the same thing. It's just you know the rate that you are likely to get approved and stuff like that, the amount and everything. It's just that when you are really ready to move forward and you do the actual application, which becomes a hard inquiry. But the pre-qualification is very hard. So yes, do pre-qualification if you can with your bank. Sometimes, like me exploring, so now usually I do pre-qualification. And even I did with Capital One. And the Capital
One, when you log in, they show you what you call it. It's very nice.
Yeah, when you do it, you actually have a portal to buy cars. Yeah. You can look through, and most of the time,
I saw some cars at some dealerships where Capital One was working with them. So they showed me everything I would qualify for. So if I was gonna buy, I would have just bought it.
Exactly. So when I got a pre-qualification from them, for 30 days, you have the access to their car, whatever. When you go there, you see how much percentage they will give you, because I've realized that when they give you the pre-qualification, you can do that. Usually some cars are slightly different.
They give
percentages and stuff like that, and some cars they don't want to finance at all and things like that. But when you have the pre-qualification, you know this is whatever and stuff like that. But the hard lesson here is make sure you are doing different pools, and depending on the situation, you know what to
analyze and compare. And one thing you also have to know is when you go through your bank, every bank has their different rules especially if you're getting a used car. Like Apple, for instance, you cannot buy a car that's 10 years old or a car that I think has over 100,000 miles. So, like that Lexus I want to drive that I thought about buying, Apple wouldn't have
financed it for
me. Because I think it was like 2013 or so. So they wouldn't, even though it was a very nice car, they wouldn't have finance.
And then also, because and then the mileage too, like you said. Some cars are used, but if the mileage is under certain miles, it's considered a new car.
Oh, really?
So it will be in the new car category. So it depends. So you just have to check the fine prints and stuff like that. But we don't want to make this too long.
Yeah, but the key advice here is always go through different banks, compare. When you walk to the dealership to buy the car, they're gonna sit you in that AC,
Give you coffee,
and oh, say, man, can we do anything for
type
you?
shit.
And then they take you on that test drive, and when you get back, what if we can get you to buy it today? They act like they're working in your interest.
Don't go sit at the dealership and
make decisions right away.
And make decisions right away.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a car, except you need a car, right? I think this is what we're going to talk about in our next video. But anyways, whenever you need a car, except you really need a car, right? Just don't go to the dealership being desperate. Because if you do that, it will sell you any car. First of all, you will not have a great idea about how reliable the car is, and like research the car and things like that. And then,
even if you're desperate for a car, show them you're not desperate.
yes,
show them you're just a casual buyer,
and try
and make it seem like, hey, if I don't get a good deal on the car,
I'm cool.
I don't even have to buy it.
My sister's car,
yeah,
it took me about 2 months because
because no matter what, there are different dealerships. Even if you're desperate, there are different dealerships you can go to. There are cars you can compare.
Yeah.
Once they see that you're desperate, they're gonna take advantage.
Yeah, so that you know what you should be doing and things like that. You just don't go in there and come out short, because you may have buyer's remorse. Hopefully you don't have to go through that. But we're just gonna end it here because it's getting too long, so we can do the next video. Thank you guys, and we're gonna catch you in the next video.
Peace out.